In this tutorial, we'll go through the transitions for Premiere. We'll see what's included, how to use and how not to use these transitions, and how to customize them to get as much out of these transitions as possible. Before we start, you should know the one, and probably the only important rule of these transitions. Don't overuse them. It can be tempting to use a lot of them at once between your shots, but keep in mind that less is more. A single well-placed transition will always be miles better than a mess of multiple good-looking transitions placed after one another. Now let's get into Premiere and see what we can come up with there. So, I've got two shots here that I want to transition between smoothly. I'll move my playhead to where I would want the transition to be placed in. Then I'll go to Transitions and Camera. I'll open up the Pan folder and grab a pan transition. Down here, I can choose to import the transition with sound off or on. I'll keep it on and add it. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, that's not really working with my shots. So what I'll do instead is go with a zoom transition. I'll go to the Zoom folder and look for a zoom out transition. I also think one with a bit of distortion on top might fit well. This one looks nice, so let's add it in. I'll just quickly move the transition. Much better. Now what I want to do is move the center of this transition to a different spot. So instead of it being in the middle, I want it to zoom out from this person's face. To do that, I need to select the out part of the transition that has anchor in its name. Currently, I have the linked selection enabled, and since the whole transition is a group, I can't just select this one part. So I'll go ahead and turn the linked selection off. Now I'll just click somewhere else, and then select the part I need. And in the effects controls, I'll go ahead and tweak the anchor point in the Transform Zoom Out property. I'll keyframe this anchor point position and move my playhead to the end of the layer. In here, I'll hit Reset so it snaps back to the center at this last keyframe. And let's preview. Camera transitions aren't always the right call. Sometimes you want to get a bit more creative and look for something that's not as seamless. For these shots, I'm going to go with a light leak transition. First off, I'll move my playhead to the cut point. And I'll go to the Light Leaks folder. In here, I've got two options, Generated or Organic. I'll go with Organic. I already know which one I want, so I'll quickly find it. Here it is. And I'll add it. Before touching anything, let's just preview it. Already fits pretty nicely, but let's take a look at what the controls can do. I'll move my playhead so I can actually see what I'm changing. So, in Transform, I can resize the light leak. I can flip it horizontally or vertically. In Color, I can shift the hue. Or if I have a specific color I want to use, I can turn the tint on and change the color. But I'll leave the tint off since I've already changed the color through hue. I can also throw in a bit of blur for good measure. Alright, let's preview. Looks good, but I'll just go with the original. So I'll reset everything. And preview one last time. For these two shots, I'll go with one of my favorite transition categories, glitches, specifically a VHS transition. So, in Animation Composer, I'll go to the Glitch folder. Open it up, go to VHS and Betacam, and then just VHS. I don't want the transition to be short, so I'll ignore these ones at the top. And I'll look for a longer one to better fit my shots. I'll go with this one. Let's try and add it. I'll just move the transition to the cut point and preview it. I'll move my playhead again to better see the changes I'll be making. Similarly to the light leaks, I have a tint control here that I can turn on and change the color of. But I'll reset it. What I will do is go to the CRT effect group, and in here I can turn this effect completely off or on. Change the size of it so it's more visible. Slightly turn the opacity down, or turn it completely down. But I'll keep it at 100. One thing I can also do is change the opacity here to 100, which makes the glitch more visible. With all that, let's preview this. If you don't mind leaving Premiere and want to have more control over the transitions, you can just replace your Premiere clips with an After Effects composition. If you've never done this, it's simple. Select your shots, right-click, and in here, click Replace with After Effects Composition. After that, I'll be prompted to save an After Effects project file. And I'll save it. Now, an After Effects composition with my footage will open up. I'll reorder the layers so that it's easier to follow along. I'll put my playhead at the cut point of the first two shots. Go to Transitions, Camera. Then Zoom. And pick a transition. I'll go with this one and add it. Now that it's imported, I'll also duplicate it and move it on the second cut mark. And preview. Compared to Premiere, there's more controls in After Effects, especially for these camera transitions. For example, I can toggle the color distortion off or back on, turn on the shake, and change its strength. Adjust the blur, and I can also move the center point of the transition way easier than in Premiere. All of these transitions can be used anywhere and for anything. Just remember to keep in mind the context of your shots and never overuse the transitions. And if you want to experiment with some of these transitions, you can, as some are included in the free starter pack that's available right now. That said, experiment, play around, and create something cool. Get this at MrHorse.com.